This is my third attempt at trying to do this. Um, I'm not very good with technology. First one was sideways, couldn't really see it. Uh, the second one was kind of cut off and halfway, and there's really no way for me to tell until I look at it to see how it's doing. So, hope this one works. Um, like it said, I'm looking for some help, and uh, not too complicated. It's probably a story like a lot of you people. I mean, the average person. I'm part of that what they call the new middle class, and it sounds so exciting, but it's really not. You make enough money to get by, maybe, but then when things get rough, you make too much money to get any help, and it's a little frustrating. Um, I've never been a person to look for a handout, but I thought, oh, if I do need something, it'll always be there. I've worked all my life, and it's just really frustrating. There's not a lot of help out there for me, and apparently there's not a lot of help for other people. And I've looked at a lot of things, and I'm thinking to myself, how can I make some extra money? I've been looking for another job, an extra job, and you know how it is. I mean, I'm lucky to have a job in this economy, much less looking for a second job. So I thought to myself, what's going on here? I mean, 5 years ago, I was doing okay. I had transitioned from a really good paying teaching job. Financially, we were doing really well, so I went to this small town, and I got a teaching job, and it was a little less than what I was making before, but it wasn't too bad. It paid the bills, and everything was looking good, and we had money, and we were doing okay. And so then I thought, what do I really want to do? Well, I'd always kind of wanted to get into therapy and counseling and that kind of thing. And at the time, I thought to myself, okay, this is great. I'll get my master's degree, because they're always telling people, teachers especially, you should get a master's degree, you should do this, you should do that. And I'm thinking, this would be a great transition. I'll teach for 5-10 years, and I'll transition from teaching into being a therapist. And the plan looked really good. Well, about a year into this new job and a year into my new master's program, they announced to me they don't need me anymore. So basically I lost my job. And it was pretty devastating, but it was like, you know what? It's not that terrible. I'll get another job. And it turned out I did get another job, and it was in the new field that I was working in, and I thought, okay, it's a pretty good sign. I'll stick with this. I'll finish the program. I'll do this job. I'll get the experience. This will be great. It'll work out, And then the economy went south, and things got more expensive. Our debt started to pile up more. I needed to have a better income. I was away from home at the time, so I thought, okay, having trouble landing a job, tried getting a teaching job. Nobody was going to hire a teacher with experience when they could hire 2 people for what they would pay me. I couldn't blame them. Budgets were tight, starting to get tight, not as tight as they are now. And so I managed to get this social worker position, and I thought, great, it's not exactly in my field, but it is related to my field. I'm getting a whole lot of experience. It's paying the bills. We're getting by, barely, but we're getting there. And I lost that job. And that was kind of like the final straw. And then things collapsed after that. And 25 years of building a life fell apart. And it sucks. It really sucks. It makes me think of, probably familiar with It's a Wonderful Life, and the main character George, and his life kind of crumbles and just falls apart. And it looks terrible. And just this line always sticks with me. His nemesis, his competitor, says to him, Mr. Potter says to him, he says, George, you're worth more dead than alive. And I think about that every once in a while. And ironically, it's true. But I always remember that there's another part of me that's like George. And it's what keeps me going. Those of you that know me, I work with kids. I work with people who are in really bad shape. And I make their lives better. And every day, I'm able to get up and say, this is a new day. This is an opportunity for me to make a difference in somebody's life. And maybe, just maybe, it'll make a difference in my life. And so I keep myself going. And I said to myself, where can I get more income? I mean, obviously, second job's not going to happen, not in this economy. And I looked around and I said, I'm a teacher, I'm a therapist, I'm an actor, or what other skills do I have that I could use? And then I remembered, hey, I wrote this book 6 years ago called Treasure. It's a kid's adventure story. It's a cool little book. It's a fast read. It's a lot of fun. There's actually 2 other books, but I can't possibly spend the time or the money to publish them. And if you want details on publishing, I'll fill you in. If you haven't experienced it, it's a whole nother world. So the reality is, I sold a few hundred copies of this book, and that was great. Never had the promotional budget to really make it work. But it's a really good book. Who knows me, I'm a nobody author. But I thought, hey, you know what? The ebook costs $6, and if I could get a few thousand people to help me out by buying the ebook, hey, maybe I could get out of this deep, deep hole that I'm in. So this is kind of how it works. Click on the link. Check out the book. If you want to buy one, I suggest buying the ebook. It's the best deal for you. It's the best deal for me. Please buy it from iUniverse. That's the publisher. If you buy it from anybody else, I get pennies on the royalties. It's complicated. If you want to know details, message me. I'll explain how the whole royalty thing works. But the reality is, that's what I got to offer. And I'm hoping, it's that old thing. If you look at it and buy one, and you tell your friends about it, and they tell their friends about it, that's how it happens, and it's worth a shot. So I'm going to post this. I'm hoping that people will look at my book and help me out and enjoy the book. And who knows? Maybe I can dig my way out of this. So I hope things are going well for all of you. Somehow this will all work out, I'm sure. And thank you for your time.